And I've always said that Mexico City, the air is so thick, you take a bite out of it, you get a taco.
I like it.
And now coming to the ring, from Mexico City, this is Geovani Andrade. What a great opportunity for Geovani Andrade to come down here, win his very first title, the WBF Mexico title. And now from Central California, Modesto, California, this is Gilberto Mendoza. You see right there the promoter, Saul Rios, in the background there next to Manuel Medina. Saul Rios, who does the matchmaking and the promoting of these fights. So now, let's go to Pablo Flores for the official introduction.
Damas y caballeros, Borizteca Boxing Promotions y BIB, The Best in Boxing, presenta este encuentro pactado a 10 rounds por el campeonato de peso super mosca de la Federación Mundial de Boxeo en México. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your co-main event of the evening. Set for 10 rounds of boxing for the WBF Super Flyweight Mexican title. Sancionado, sanctioned by the WBF President, el presidente Howard Goldberg. Supervisor in attendance, el supervisor en turno, Max Zúñiga Lavandera. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Sus 3 jueces, Dr. Román Cruz, Antonio Villegas y Carlos de la Rocha. And your referee in charge of the action, su referee, Manuel Rincón. De BIB, The Best in Boxing, Fight Hub TV en YouTube. Y los presentes desde la nueva arena Big Punch Arena en la frontera más visitada del mundo, Tijuana, Baja California, México. ¡Ajusten sus cinturones! Introducing to you first, the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing the Mexican colors, green, white, and red. He officially weighs in at 115 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo los colores mexicanos, verde, blanco y rojo, con un peso de 115 libras. As a professional, he stands with a record of 5 victories against 3 losses, 1 draw, and 4 of those victories coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 5 victorias, 3 derrotas, 1 empate y 4 de esas victorias por la vía del knockout. De la Ciudad de México, Geovani Andrade. And his opponent across the ring, standing in the red corner, wearing black with gold and white. He's officially weighs 115 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo color negro con oro y blanco, con un peso idéntico de 115 libras. He stands with a record of 10 victories against 6 losses, 2 draws, and 7 of those wins coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 10 victorias, 6 derrotas, 2 empates y 7 de esas victorias por la vía del cloroformo. Hailing out of Modesto, California, USA, Gilberto Mendoza. Y para dar las indicaciones finales, with the final instructions, here is your referee, Manuel Rincón.
Jóvenes, demuestren su profesionalismo haciendo una pelea buena, una pelea limpia. Recuerden, ya les di instrucciones en los vestidores. Choquen la mano, que hagan el mejor.
The final instructions by our referee, and we are ready for this WBF Mexico title. 10 rounds in the super flyweight division. Your principals in the ring, Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California. He's got on the white trunks with some tiger stripes on the side and a black belt. Taking on Mexico City's Giovani Andrade, and he is going to be wearing the white and the tricolors of Mexico on the side, the green, the red, and the white. Mendoza likes to work off that jab. Come in from a distance. Andrade, on the other hand, he is a wicked body puncher that wants to get inside. Mendoza doing a good job right now getting the best of it by trying to go ahead and work behind that jab.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of starting with the jab. Simply now he has to put combinations behind that jab.
For Andrade, tremendous advantage training in Mexico City at that altitude. So his lungs are extremely well conditioned for this type of fight.
Yeah, you come down
level.
Yeah, you come down from altitude to sea level, and you should have slightly an advantage with the conditioning.
Gilberto Mendoza, on the other hand, comes from the central part of California, Modesto, California. Up 99, where it gets very, very hot. Andrade biding his time, almost as if he's disinterested.
Maybe that's the vibe he puts off, but I can guarantee you, Ben, that he's not disinterested.
A great opportunity to fight here to get the first of what hopefully will be many belts, the WBF Mexico title. And good left hand by Mendoza. That shot grazing off the nose of Giovani Andrade.
Andrade seems very calm right now, maybe because he knows it's a 10-round fight and he needs to pick it up a little bit.
Mendoza almost feeling like Andrade can't hurt him.
And Mendoza throws slightly long, awkward shots, awkward looping shots like that one right there. Nothing to set it up with, just kind of movement and then throws it.
And that's got to be a pretty discouraging feeling on the part of Mendoza, where he turns that punch, and there's Andrade looking like ho-hum.
That has to do with the fact that he's not throwing it properly, and like I said, he's not setting it up with the jab or not too much movement. He's simply throwing it. So when you can see a shot, you can take it, you can block it.
A feeling out round in this first one. It is the first of a scheduled 10-rounder. Gilberto Mendoza, Giovani Andrade. So I'm going to go with Mendoza on that first one.
Yeah, I believe Mendoza landed better shots than Andrade. Andrade was a little passive in that first round, didn't do much. But maybe he's just kind of getting the wheels rolling, heating up that engine. See what he does in round number 2.
There you see in the corner, this is Giovani Andrade. Someone needs to wake him up, saying, you know what, you're in a fight.
Yeah, he still looks like he's uninterested, like you mentioned in that first round.
You need to take a little cappuccino, not Al Pacino, you know? See if that'll wake you up. Andrade looks keyed up for this opportunity to win this WBF Mexico title. Super flyweights, we are ready for round number 2 of a scheduled 10-rounder for the WBF Mexico title. Gilberto Mendoza, he has on the white trunks with the black belt. The Giovani Andrade, he has on the white trunks and the tricolors of Mexico, the red, the white, and the green along the side of his pants. I gave the first round to Gilberto Mendoza. I just thought he did more. How'd you score?
The same. I believe he did definitely more than Andrade. Andrade was too passive, wasn't throwing many shots, and he needs to be woken up.
Now you see Andrade trying to mix it up a little bit, trying to find a home for that uppercut and trying to close the distance a little bit more.
And this is what I expected more from a super flyweight bout is punches and bunches, and I think they're starting to heat up those engines and starting to sling them a little more.
Oh no, and all of a sudden Andrade slipped.
A punch did connect, but it was more of a slip or a step on by Mendoza.
I don't know if it's wet right there in the very center of the ring. See if the referee goes back to that spot. These guys are starting to find the range now. Figuring out the range they need to hit and starting to find a home. Geovani Andrade, who trains Centro Otomi, which is a sacred grounds there where the Indians once resided, and a lot of fighters go there to train. Eric Morales used to do that.
That's in Toluca, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Juan Manuel Marquez also.
And the reason why they go up there, I actually fought Johnny Gonzalez in Toluca, and I recall simply walking the streets and feeling winded.
Yeah.
So you have to go there with a certain amount of time. Obviously, you have to go in shape, but with a certain amount of time because the altitude is pretty crazy up there.
Well, the great boxing trainer Nacho Berenstein preferred that for his fighters to go up there and put in the work in that high altitude. Now we got a better exchange out of these guys. Gilberto Mendoza, Geovani Andrade exchanging leather.
And Andrade coming from that altitude and coming down to sea level, he's going to be able to do this all night, to throw those punches and bunches without worrying about getting tired if he put in the work.
He's not even breathing yet. He looks so totally calm inside there. But he's going to have to pick it up here. It is scheduled for 10. This is going to be the end of the second round of a scheduled 10-rounder. At stake, the WBF Mexico title in the super flyweight division. See what the instruction is from Andrade's corner on what he should do here. And now you get the final seconds. Andrade's starting to let it go, but I don't think he did enough in that round.
Yeah, Benny, I'm in agreement with you. He did pick it up, but he didn't do enough. I think Gilberto Mendoza landed still the better shots in that round. But that motor is going for Geovani Andrade.
Let's get some of the action here in round number 2. Go back to it. See if we can find a definitive winner. And there's action from round number 2. That overhand right by Mendoza, leading with that.
And typical of a super flyweight bout is simply that, the exchanges, you know, those punches and bunches.
They can let it go, and they can let it go at a tremendous, rapid pace and can sustain it for long periods of time. Well, they put a lot of Vaseline over the right eye. Let's see if the referee wipes some of that off on the right eye of Gilberto Mendoza. As they wait for the bell, Gilberto Mendoza, Geovani Andrade. Super flyweight division at stake, the WBF Mexico title. Mendoza with the white trunks and the animal prints along the side, along with the black belt. Andrade now seems to have woken up. I think he's realized he's in a fight here now, starting to launch some leather.
I think it's just some guys take a little bit longer to warm up, get that blood going. You can warm up in the dressing room, but it's not the same as being inside the ring. I think that's the case with that.
But Christopher, explain why it's so important for a fighter to come into the ring warm, having worked up a sweat.
Because you need that motor going. You need to loosen up those muscles. You simply need it for the reason why you don't want to get hit cold. Because you get hit cold, you're gonna get knocked out cold. You know, so you definitely need to have a good warm up, good sweat in the locker room before you come out here and perform.
And good exchange here. Andrade getting the best of it so far. Now it's starting to figure out that distance and what to do when you get in that kill zone. Creating punching angles, dropping that hip, creating leverage, establishing the base of power. And here they come.
I like the calmness by Andrade. I know at the beginning we're mentioning his calmness, how it being a negative factor in the fight. But right now, as the fight's progressing, I think it's good that he's so calm. He's able to take those shots. He's able to land his own and just simply truck it forward.
Now, neither fighter has gone 10 rounds. So this is a tremendous step up, and you're navigating in unknown waters.
Yeah, and like I mentioned right now, I would give the advantage going a long distance to Geovani Andrade because he's so calm. Overexerting himself is Mendoza. That's going to get him tired.
And I think one big mistake Gilberto Mendoza is making is not working the body enough for Geovani Andrade. And especially in a 10-round fight, Christopher, you got to work that body, right?
Yeah, if you want to have an advantage over your opponent in the later rounds, you need to attack the body. You need to wear him down.
Andrade now doing a good job of closing that space and creating punching angles from different sides.
A big factor here for me is the fact that Andrade is putting on that mental pressure. Yes, he's coming forward. He's not landing big shots on Mendoza, but the fact that he just keeps coming and coming and coming, it's going to wear on Mendoza mentally.
Andrade's not been able to put combinations. What he is landing is pot shots. Good left hand right there by Andrade. And now throwing punches from awkward angles, Christopher, coming down below the belt of Mendoza and striking the head and the torso.
Yeah, it's that awkwardness from Mendoza that's putting him out of position with those looping shots.
Well, just when you think he's in a position where he can't throw a punch, you realize, wow, where did that come from? Because he did throw the punch and landed.
Yeah, well, that's his style. I mean, he's adjusted himself to it. He's able to throw from weird angles.
And that is round number 3, and I'm going to go with an Andrade round. And now, all of a sudden, we're going to test the physical level of Gilberto Mendoza.
Yeah, you're right, Benny. We're going to test the conditioning of Mendoza.
Let's take a look at some of the action from round number 3 with these guys exchanging combinations. There's Andrade landing.
And you gave the round to Andrade, and mainly because of that, the calmness and him being able to strike back with the awkwardness of Gilberto Mendoza coming at him.
I thought the frequency by which he landed and then the heaviness of the punches, I think all those things benefited Geovani Andrade. And look at him, he's not even breathing. And there's that, they applied a lot of Vaseline on the right side. I don't see a cut. Maybe that is a cut. Above the right eye of Gilberto Mendoza.
I think they're just trying to get the punches to slip off from Geovani Andrade.
It is round number 4 of a scheduled 10-rounder at stake. The WBF Mexico title. Your principals in the ring, they are Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California, in the white trunks with a black belt, Geovani Andrade from Mexico City in the white trunks with the tricolors of Mexico, the red, the green, and the white along the side. Andrade had his best round in the last round, the third round. See if he continues.
I like the fact that Gilberto Mendoza went back to boxing, using his jab, using lateral movement, and no looping shots yet. Nothing but jabs and straight rights.
I think the key for Mendoza is to continue boxing, but also he has to step to his left. Keep moving laterally, don't go back.
Yeah, that's what's been effective for him this first minute, is using those angles, boxing.
See, all of a sudden, Andrade all of a sudden looked like he woke up again. And 2 shots. Here comes Andrade.
And he got Mendoza's attention. You know what, Benny? That was a good combination by Andrade, but I see his right eye swelling up a little bit, and he's bleeding from the nose right now. So we'll see how that bothers him as the rounds progress.
Andrade's nose?
Yeah, he had a little trickle of blood.
Yeah, in the left nostril, I can see it now.
And his right eye is slightly swelling.
The man from Mexico City, Geovani Andrade, trying to mount an attack here. Mendoza keeps trying to box from the outside. Really important for Mendoza that as he boxes, move laterally. You go straight back and you're going to get hit by Andrade.
And this is a good comeback round for Mendoza. The fact that he's kept it up already for almost 2.5 minutes says a lot about his conditioning. Because he's moving, throwing punches, evading shots like he's doing there.
And now he's moving around laterally, side to side. Great movement by Gilberto Mendoza.
I think Andrade is feeling a little bit of urgency now with this movement from Mendoza.
Yeah, but he's just kind of pawing that jab. It's not really a sharp jab. Andrade trying to be sneaky, landing that a pot shot, but an uppercut. See that uppercut?
Yeah. Not being too effective with it. I get what you're saying. And Mendoza landing good shots coming over the top.
I think this is a Mendoza round. He's been more active. He's been more precise. He's landed the harder shots. Andrade, as Christopher mentioned, problem with his nose. Breathing seems to be a strain right now for Geovani Andrade. And those misses, when you miss that clean, that takes a lot of energy. Both of them right there exchanging simultaneously.
There was a good shot to the body by Andrade in that little exchange.
Yeah, that was not an earthquake, folks. That was the punching by these two guys. And we've got 4 rounds in the book. And I'm going to go with Gilberto Mendoza in that round.
Yeah, Mendoza definitely came back strong in that round. Switched his game plan from the earlier rounds. Geovani Andrade seems puzzled now.
You see it? Let's see some of the action again in round number 4. As we see Mendoza and Andrade exchanging. Both of them landing. Now, when you miss that cleanly, how much energy is taken out of you when you do that?
It takes a lot of energy to swing your hardest and miss. Thinking you're going to land and you miss, you're definitely going to wear more than if you throw and, let's say, hit the glove, hit the elbows. Because you're not used to, most boxers are not used to throwing and missing. So props to Gilbert Mendoza for making him miss.
And you see the right eye of Gilberto Mendoza. They keep applying that Vaseline, and they're going to dry out that area, that red corner. He's asking the referee to dry it out. As we take the time. And this is round number 5 of a scheduled 10-rounder at stake. The WBF Mexico title in the super flyweight division. Your combatants, Gilberto Mendoza in the white trunks with the black belt. Geovani Andrade with the tricolors of Mexico along the side of his white pants, the red, the white, and the green. Unofficially, I have Gilberto Mendoza winning this fight. We'll see how the 3 judges score it. They did a good job of stopping the blood from the nose of Geovani Andrade, but that doesn't mean he could breathe out of it.
Benny, I want to take the time, quick lull in the action, say hi to my friends, Victor Heredia, Pablo Picasso. They're watching us live. Best in Boxing, Borizteca Boxing, and giving us feedback that we're doing a good job here on the broadcast.
Well, the fighters make it easy for us. When these guys come to fight like this, makes it a joy. Global Sports Streaming. We're at the Big Punch Arena here in Tijuana, Baja California. We'll see if Geovani Andrade can get that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th win. And right hits the ear hole of Gilberto Mendoza with that left.
Yeah, up until that moment, Gilberto Mendoza was doing a good job of doing what he did in the previous round, is boxing. But there he goes back to boxing, putting his combinations together, pop-shotting Geovani Andrade.
You know, that's a fascinating thing about the human body. You look at the body of Geovani Andrade, and you would think this guy couldn't fight. But then all of a sudden you see him in there, and you see him apply all the different techniques.
Yeah, he's definitely well schooled, especially in boxing. You can't judge a book by its cover. My dad has a famous story of my brother when he was an amateur boxer back in the day. He said that my brother was adamant that he was going to whoop this guy's butt because he looked so skinny. He's like, oh, I got him, Dad. I got him. I'm going to knock him out. Comes out for the fight, and this guy rings my brother's bell. And my dad, the way he exaggerates the story is that he looked over to the corner and he saw my dad, and he gave him a look of surprise. And the fighter from LA took over. My brother lost, but you can't judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely not. These guys exchanging back and forth. Gilberto Mendoza, Geovani Andrade, both trying to win this belt. The WBF Mexico title. Great job by the corner from both fighters stopping blood. To the right eye of Gilberto Mendoza. And from the nostril, Geovani Andrade. Good short punch by Andrade. And now here comes Mendoza.
This fight has definitely been picking up as the fights progress. The conditioning of Gilberto Mendoza, being able to keep moving and boxing and punching at the same time is commendable. Like I tip my hat to him. Geovani Andrade is coming strong. He's coming in with conditioning from a high altitude, but he's still unable to put his shots together.
Not able to land combinations. And here's the exchange at the final seconds of round number 5. Tick away. Another close round. Boy, that's a tough one to score. I'm gonna go with Andrade. Let's take a look at some of the exchange from round number 5. See if you guys can come up with a definitive winner from that round. That's a one-shot deal. Then he waits. Here's one shot. There's another one shot. Try to put a combination.
And he's throwing those shots from his hips. No real fundamentals, no boxing fundamentals, hands up, nothing. He's just throwing wing and leather.
Good exchange right there. So now we reach the second half of this fight. This is going to be the 6th round. There's the blood. And Christopher, that blood is, I mean, and the sweat, it's going right in his eye. You can see he's having difficulty seeing out of that.
It's a small cut. I think the corner's doing a good job. They've been buttering him up since the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round. So with all that grease, they're doing a good job of holding on.
Referee warning both fighters to watch their head. No head clashes. Round number 6 of a scheduled 10-rounder at stake. The WBF Mexico title. These are super flyweights. Gilberto Mendoza in the white trunks with the black belt. Geovani Andrade from Mexico City with the Mexican tricolors along the side of his trunks. All of a sudden now, and Mendoza choosing to attack the body of Andrade, which would not be a bad idea at this particular point in the fight.
You want to stop a fighter from coming forward and putting pressure on you, go to his body. I guarantee you he's going to think twice about coming into that pocket.
In the corner of Mendoza, the trainer's telling him to take that one, land that one shot, step back, and then come in with another one. Andrade doing a good job of keeping his hands up high. And again, good job of countering by Geovani Andrade. And the blood now is coming out of the left nose of Andrade.
Mendoza's giving Geovani Andrade trouble with that movement. Every time he sits still, Andrade just gains momentum and throws his shots and lands them. But every time Gilberto Mendoza gets on his toes and moves like he just did there, Andrade has a hard time. And a little bit of frustration I see in his face and his body language when he decides to move Mendoza.
Mendoza doing a good job of using those gloves as a great shield against the punches of Andrade. And now the blood now is really coming out of the nose of Geovani Andrade. And that'll make it more and more difficult for him to be able to breathe, to freely breathe through his nose. And good straight right hand right there by Gilberto Mendoza. And a good right hand by Andrade.
Good combination by Andrade. Not enough to win the round though. Mendoza has been dominating the whole round. Geovani Andrade is going to have to step up his work rate if he wants to keep up with Mendoza's pace.
Mendoza definitely winning this round, doing a great job. But there's no quit in Geovani Andrade. He just keeps coming back and back. The final seconds, the corner of Andrade is going to have to work on that nose. All of a sudden, the movements has been stifled. Geovani Andrade not moving as well. That is a Mendoza round in my card.
Yeah, absolutely. Gilberto Mendoza dominated that round. I see Geovani Andrade kind of quitting on himself.
Now let's see them work on the nose of Geovani Andrade. Let's see some of the action in round number 6. There's Andrade trying to go ahead and look at the blood out of his nose.
Yeah, he's definitely having a hard time breathing. So that conditioning he came in with, it's not going to help him too much if he continues to bleed like that, Benny.
There they are, working on that nose. It is round number 7 coming up of a scheduled 10-rounder. Fighting for the WBF Mexico title, Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California. They started out as white trunks. Now they look more like silver. The trunks of Gilberto Mendoza, Geovani Andrade in the white trunks. It has been the nose of Geovani Andrade that's given him trouble. The right eye of Gilberto Mendoza has also been exposed, and it's blood. The corner doing a good job of stopping that.
Yeah, they've done a good job of maintaining the blood getting into his eye.
Tremendous physical condition being exemplified by both of these fighters. They're both in great physical shape. And now you can notice right away right there, Christopher, the difficulty breathing on the part of Geovani Andrade.
Yeah, like I mentioned in the last round, he seems a little frustrated, and that might be it, Benny, the fact that he can't breathe. You can't breathe, you're not going to be comfortable throwing heavy shots. I think Gilberto Mendoza knows it, and he continues to move, continues to pop shot Andrade. And I believe since the 4th round on, he's been controlling this fight, has Mendoza.
Neither has gone 10 rounds. Uncharted waters for both of these two fighters. Round number 7. Another shot right to the nose of Andrade. Mendoza just teeing off on that nose.
I like the way he changed his game plan from the earlier rounds to now for Mendoza. The fact that he noticed that he would have a more difficult time if he stood there and he fought with Andrade than if he boxed him. He's doing a wonderful job of simply boxing, evading those shots with his head movement, with his footwork. He's doing a very good job, is Andrade.
I think in the corner of Andrade's trainer is going to have to go back and take him aside and say, you know what, you need to attack that body more. He has not slowed down Mendoza sufficiently enough to be effective. Mendoza just keeps coming back with that jab.
They're kind of falling into this monotone pace because Gilberto Mendoza just keeps boxing him, putting a boxing clinic on pretty much. And Geovani Andrade is walking forward, not throwing too many shots. Seems like he kind of gave up on himself.
Mendoza stays that good right hand, just grazed the chin of Geovani Andrade.
Beautiful right hand by Mendoza.
Andrade all of a sudden is trying to load up on shots. But Christopher, he's not looking for combinations. He's predominantly pot shotting, just one shot at a time.
I think it's because of the movement of Mendoza. So he noticed that if he throws, Mendoza's not going to be there.
That's 2 clean misses right there. I thought these rounds were a little bit longer than 3 minutes. So we're going to have to get...
Yeah, I believe the timekeeper's not doing a good job in extending the 3-minute mark.
I think that is another Mendoza round. Let's take a look at Mendoza and some of the work that he's doing, especially with his right hand.
And that was a good way to set it up, was simply a jab. Earlier he was doing it with his movement, and right here he went back to boxing fundamentals and put a jab before that right hand. That's one of the first things you're taught, aside from walking the first day you walk into the gym, that 1-2. Why do you throw a jab? To set up that right hand.
Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California. Let's give a big hand to his corner, who did such a great job in preparing him for his very first 10-round fight.
Yeah, he's definitely in shape. You know, he's throwing punches. And like we mentioned right now, with these extended rounds, they're 3+ minutes. I don't know what's happening with the timekeeper, but if you guys feel at home that these are longer than usual, it's because they are.
It is round number 8 of a scheduled 10-rounder. Fighting for the WBF Mexico title, Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California. In the very wet white trunks that are now silver against Geovani Andrade from Mexico City. Got a little problem here with our timekeeper, who has the trouble trying to figure out what 3 minutes are, because these have all been extended beyond that 3 minutes. And I thought a particular one, because I thought I heard that the final 10 seconds, and it just kept going and going and going. Gilberto Mendoza still throwing punches, still moving, still making a difficult target for Geovani Andrade to find.
Nice combination by Mendoza.
And you know what he's doing now too, Christopher? He's going down low, then coming back on top. Work your way at the body and then come back on top.
Yeah, slowly but surely he's putting on a boxing clinic on Geovani Andrade.
And John, right there, Andrade ends up eating 2 shots.
The best thing for me for this fight for Gilberto Mendoza is the fact that he was able to adjust from those first couple of rounds where Andrade seemed to kind of turn the tide, but Mendoza turned it back on him, moving, evading shots, and landing very solid shots on Geovani Andrade.
We got a head clash right here. Over the eye. Andrade gets a little extra time right there. So far, it's been a very clean fight. That's the very first time we've had a clash of heads. The cut over the right eye of Gilberto, and that was a slip. But he got a chance to drop a little body shot in there.
Snuck it in there, Marco Antonio Barrera style.
Andrade's from Mexico City, same place that Marco Antonio Barrera's from. Probably seen some videos of Marco Antonio Barrera.
He's a
good
professional
uppercut.
fighter. I'm sure he's seen Marco Antonio Barrera, even if he...
Now we're over 3 minutes right now. So obviously whatever clock that timekeeper has, I think it's set on 4 minutes. Is there a snooze? Is there a snooze button on a boxing clock?
And that's puzzling to me, the fact that a professional timekeeper has been making the same mistake over and over.
Andrade's loading up. There is the whistle, which means there's 10 seconds, but we don't know what 10 seconds is anymore. So technically, this is a 15-round fight if you count all the time and the extra time.
The extra minute. So, yeah, technically they've already gone more than 30 minutes with eight
This
rounds.
is the 12th round.
Yeah.
Championship round. And to think in the old days, they used to fight 15 rounds. Check out the counter punching here. And look at that, straight right hand.
Yeah, Mendoza doing a very good job of making Geovani Andrade miss and then pay.
It's amazing, though. Andrade gets in there, and he's like looking at him eye to eye and doesn't even move. Does not move the head. Danny Garcia does that, too. He'll come in right in on you and look you straight in the eye. Be in the susceptible area to be hit. Defiant till the very end.
Yeah, absolutely. What Danny Garcia has, though, in order for that to work for him, is his punching power.
Yeah.
So he's got that equalizer with that punching power. I don't think that's the case for Mr. Geovani Andrade here.
Mendoza appears to be the fresher of the two fighters. Round number 9 of a scheduled 10-rounder for the WBF Mexico title, super flyweight. Andrade trying to maneuver himself.
Good slip and counter by Mendoza.
And he's countered very effectively. And it's almost like a surprising counter the way he's able to go ahead and kind of dip to the left and then come up with that straight right hand right to the nose of Andrade. I think he's got a busted up nose, Andrade does.
I think he does as well. His corner did stop the bleeding, but who knows what's happening behind the scenes there.
See, those took 4 shots right to the nose.
I like the style by Gilberto Mendoza. He's doing a good job of moving and punching, as we see there.
And he's very disciplined in the way he's going about it. And in order to do that, though, Christopher, you know that better than anybody else, you've got to be in tremendous physical shape.
Yeah, you have to be in tip-top shape. Not only that, you have to be mentally strong. I think Gilberto Mendoza is very mentally strong, as opposed to Geovani Andrade, who in my opinion, gave up like around round 4 or 5 physically. Like, he just stopped trying. Technically, like, he's on autopilot. He's still trying, but not with the same vigorousness that he was in the first and second and third round.
Mendoza, on the other hand, has not slowed down at all. Not one iota. He has been stellar. He has been physical and relentless.
I think the only thing that could cap off this performance if Gilberto Mendoza is able to stop Geovani Andrade. Just put his shots together a little bit more, continue to land combinations on Andrade. I think that would culminate the work that Mendoza has done.
Okay, so now the bell, a whistle should have gone off to say we got 10 seconds left. Yeah, and we've said that before, that this is actually the 12th round. Okay, so we've gone way past the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, so it's safe to say that these guys are in shape going 4-minute rounds.
No, it's been an absolute testament to both fighters' physical endurance, the way they've grinded out these rounds. These are 4-minute rounds. Maybe 5.
That I don't know. Let's have the truck put the timer on for the next one, and they could tell us.
They are going to sleep so well tonight, both of these fighters. They can sleep in the ring after this fight. They'll be so tired. 5 minutes, 12 seconds into round number 9. Oh, there's the bell.
There's the bell.
The whistle.
And hats off to you two gentlemen. Man.
One more round coming up for the WBF Mexico title, super flyweight. Look at Mendoza. He can't even sit down. They finally got him to sit down. And take a look at some of the exchange in this 5-minute round.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Christopher's got his own clock out now. And look at this exchange. Two guys still just slugging it out.
And just so everybody at home knows, for the WBF Mexico title, we fight 5-minute rounds, UFC style.
And folks, try it at home. Try it at home. Put a set, get out your smartphone, and see if you can time it out. Time out the round.
It'd be great that after 9 completed rounds, the ring timer goes ahead and gets it right on round number 10.
So we are ready for round number 10. It is the final round for this WBF Mexico title, super flyweight. The two combatants in the ring, Gilberto Mendoza, Geovani Andrade. And our announcer, Pablo Flores, getting the crowd excited about this 10th and final round. And you can see the clock right there on the right. And then I hope you're timing it at home as well. Geovani Andrade with the white trunks and the Mexican flag, the tricolors, red, white, and green. The man from Modesto, California, Gilberto Mendoza.
And Mendoza came out with a purpose in this round, throwing hard shots right off the bat.
He didn't even want to sit. He wanted to stay standing in between rounds, and his corner finally convinced him to go ahead and take a seat. Good uppercut right there by Andrade. I think Andrade knows he needs a knockout. Mendoza still keeps throwing shots. Good exchange right here by both fighters. Launching leather all the way into the 10th and final round.
You're right, Benny. Good exchange, but Andrade needs to bring his hands up after he throws. He throws the shots, and he leaves his hands down there by his waist.
Neither one of these two fighters have gone 10 rounds. First time. Good right hand. Mendoza stopped Andrade in his tracks with that one. Andrade's not seeing that right hand at all. This is a great opportunity for Mendoza here to throw that right hand over the left glove of Andrade. They have not diminished the pace that they set in that first round. This has been constant from the first round on. This is a leather launching exhibition by both of these fighters, but especially Gilberto Mendoza.
I like that. Leather launching.
But you know, you see Mendoza, dude, he's got tremendous defensive skills, anticipates the shots and then ducks that head beautifully.
He does, and sometimes he punches off that head movement, which has been very important for him winning this fight, because Andrade never caught on to that
now
movement.
We've got Christopher's clock, and right now we're at 3 minutes. We're at 3 minutes, folks.
So we're at 3:05, and we haven't heard a 10-second bell. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Mendoza taking the fight to Andrade. We're at 3:22, 3:24. And the referee tells the two fighters, combatants, to get it on. And finally, at 3:38,
A 10-minute whistle.
3:33, we get a whistle. And these guys keep slugging it out to the very end. 3 minutes, 49 seconds unofficially. The time. Officially, 3 minutes.
That's crazy.
What a fight! And I think Gilberto Mendoza is going to get his very first title, the WBF Mexico title in the super flyweight division. Geovani Andrade put on a great battle himself. And watch this. This is the final 10 seconds, folks. And this is the pace that was established from the opening bell.
From the opening bell, they never stopped throwing that leather. Like you said, a leather launching exhibition. I'm going to use that from now on, Benny.
And there you go. The referee in between. You know, you wonder, Christopher, does a referee have, mainly from doing so many fights, a clock in their head that
You
would
should.
kind of say the instinct, say, you know, this is longer than 3 minutes?
No, you absolutely do. As a fighter especially, you know. And when you're in shape, usually the rounds go by fast. So maybe that's why these guys didn't catch on. But the referee should have caught on.
And even the coroner, you think the coroner would have objected to the length of the rounds. All right, so we are ready here for Pablo Flores is still waiting for the cards. I wonder if that's going to take 4 minutes to get. Gilberto Mendoza, Geovani Andrade. For Mendoza, who's now in double digits, let's see if he can pick up his 11th win of his career, coming down here all the way from Modesto, California. Geovani Andrade, even a longer, John. He's coming all the way from Mexico City to Tijuana. So Pablo Flores is still gathering the cards from the 3 judges who scored the fight. I have the fight for Gilberto Mendoza.
Yeah, absolutely. Geovani Andrade did a little bit, or did some work in the beginning rounds, but I believe in the 4th round, I think it was, that Mendoza simply took over.
Let's go back now and take a look at some of the action. Round number 10. The final seconds of a 4 minutes and 48 second round. Look at these two guys. This started in the first round with this kind of pace, and they kept it right on. Gilberto Mendoza and these two fighters now congratulate each other. Tremendous sportsmanship, as is customary here in Mexico. So I think Pablo Flores now is ready with the decision.
And ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we now go to the judges' scorecards. Después de 10 rounds de combate, tenemos la decisión de los jueces, no sin antes un fuerte aplauso para Mendoza y Andrade. Big round of applause for these two warriors tonight. Judge, el juez Carlos de la Rocha, he scores it 98-92. 98-92. Antonio Villegas scores it 96-94. Y Román Cruz, he scores it 95-95 even. 95-95. For your winner by the way of majority decision. Su ganador por la vía de la decisión mayoritaria. He is the new WBF Super Flyweight Mexico Champion, el nuevo campeón de la Federación Mundial de Boxeo, Gilberto Mendoza.
Wow, a 95-95.
I definitely don't see that score. I agree with the first judge with 8 rounds to 2. I believe Gilberto Mendoza won 8 rounds out of 10. Geovani Andrade brought it strong in those first 2-3 rounds, second and third round, but that's it. After that, he kind of just went on on autopilot.
Gilberto Mendoza from Modesto, California, goes 10 rounds for the first time in his career, and now wears the WBF Mexico title belt in the super flyweight division. But then, Christopher, you score fights, and in different countries, you know, that's one of the things I always tell fighters. Don't get mad at the judges for how they scored it. Instead, go over there and ask them why they scored it the way they did, and you learn how to win fights. Because sometimes that what you are doing in a fight may not, through the judge's eyes, be seen as an advantageous position or definitely a way that you're winning the fight. So you got to learn how to win a fight.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think young fighters, even veteran fighters, such as myself, could probably learn something from what you just said. Go up to the judges. What did you see? What should I have done? What can I do better?
Because 95-95 to me is shocking.
Definitely shocking. I don't agree with that. I think, like I said, Mendoza did very well. And 8 rounds to 2, to me, that's my opinion. Mr. Or the judge's name escapes me, but 95-95, that's on him. That's his opinion as well.
And a bit of an odd occurrence here to also witness repeated rounds exceeding the 3 minutes, some by over a minute.
Yeah, that's that's absurd for it to happen. In a professional boxing contest, you know, that's why we have refs. That's why we have judges. But we have one specific guy for a timekeeper, and he couldn't even do his job properly right there in that last fight.